Heartwarming story. One black girl's tearful plea unveils a life-changing rescue by her billionaire. Maya stood at the edge of the auditorium stage, heart racing like a speeding train. The flickering lights dimmed, and all eyes fixated on her. In that moment, she was just a 12-year-old girl from a vibrant Atlanta neighborhood. Yet the weight of her world rested heavily on her shoulders. Her mom worked 2 grueling jobs, often collapsing into bed exhausted, leaving Maya to navigate their choppy seas alone. When she spoke, her voice trembled, a raw testament to her fears. What if we lose our home? What if my mom can't work anymore? Tears swelled in her eyes, threatening to spill over like a summer rain. The audience leaned in closer, captivated by her pain. As Maya's words pierced through the silence, she recounted the recent scare when her mom fell ill. Doctors and bills became a deafening buzz, drowning out their dreams of a better life. "I just want her to be okay," she sobbed, every word a weighty echo of helplessness. The collective gasp from her classmates told her they felt it too, the fear of uncertainty. In those raw moments, she could almost smell hope hanging in the air like fresh rain, swirling around them. Yet despite the tearful plea that flowed from her heart, the cavernous silence that followed her speech screamed louder than all the applause in the world. No immediate change, no immediate relief was thrown their way. A flicker of hope dimmed as support trickled, and the mountain of medical bills loomed ever higher. But then a flicker of light shined through the crowd. Local businesses began to rally, but none could truly alleviate the burdens resting on Maya's young shoulders. Everything changed the night Julian Hart, a billionaire, stumbled upon Maya's heartfelt video. He was a man molded by his own struggles with poverty, and her story reached out to him like a lifeline. He felt a surge of urgency to make a difference. Inspired to channel this spark into a new generation, he paid a visit under the guise of scouting for community investment. The dim auditorium was soon filled with an energy Maya had never felt before. "Creativity isn't just for adults," he smiled, lighting up the room. "Let us brainstorm ideas that uplift families like yours." It was a moment that slipped into her heart, igniting a flame of determination. With newfound energy, Maya and her friends rallied. They scribbled ideas passionately, pouring their souls into each suggestion. But as doubts crept into their conversations, some leaders questioned their ambitions. "You're just kids, what do you know?" Before long, a crucial grant slipped away, leaving Maya's spirit hanging by a thread. Just then, like a hero from a dream, Julian returned, offering not just support, but guidance. His faith transformed their project into something greater, igniting hope once more. But soon they faced yet another obstacle, and the shadows of disbelief tightened around them. Maya wrestled with her fears, staring into the eyes of those who believed in her. Can courage and creativity truly triumph? She wondered. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As the community gathered for their project pitch, the atmosphere crackled with tension. Could they sway the hearts of those who doubted? Maya, now a spark of courage and creativity, stood tall. But just when victory seemed tantalizingly close, local officials unleashed a decision that threatened to unravel their every effort. With her dreams on the line, Maya clenched her fists, knowing she had to face this battle not just for herself but for every dreamer in their neighborhood. Would she find the strength to lead them all toward hope? Maya took a deep breath, the weight of uncertainty pressing down on her chest like a heavy stone. The room buzzed with whispers as community members filed in, their expressions a mix of curiosity and skepticism. She could feel the warmth radiating from Julian next to her, a beacon of hope that urged her to stand tall. His faith in her stirred something deep within, but even that felt fragile against the looming dread of disappointment. As the local officials settled into their seats, she glanced at her friends Josie, Malik, and Andre, each wearing a mask of determination that mirrored her own fears. They had worked so hard, pouring every moment of free time into this project, each idea a thread woven into their collective dream. Maya's fingers trembled against the cool metal of the podium as she cleared her throat, the noise in the room dying down as she caught their attention. "Thank you for being here," she began, her voice steadier than she felt. "Today, we're not just sharing a project. We're sharing our hopes, our dreams, and our fight for a better future." Cheers erupted from the back, and she took that energy, using it to fuel her courage. She delved into her vision, sketching out a plan for a community hub that would offer resources, mentorship, and childcare support for families like hers. Her words were passionate, fueled by her own struggles and the struggles she had witnessed every day. Maya painted a picture of what this space could bring: laughter, support, warmth, a sanctuary for those who felt lost. But when it was time for the officials to respond, silence settled over the room like a heavy curtain. One of them, Director Wallace, leaned forward, his brow furrowed. "Well, this is an ambitious plan, Maya," he began, his tone careful. "But we need to consider the costs involved, the logistics." Maya's heart dropped. She could see her dreams hanging by a thread. What if she blurted out, desperation creeping into her voice? What if we prove that hope can create change? That passion can drive action? Director Wallace shook his head slowly, looking towards his colleagues. "We appreciate your enthusiasm, but you children need to be realistic. Where will the funding come from?" Maya felt her heart clench. She glanced quickly at Julian. He was watching, nodding subtly, a silent reminder that she wasn't alone. Suddenly, all of her fears danced in front of her. What if they failed? What if the dream she held so dearly slipped away like sand through her fingers? "Isn't that the point?" Julian interjected, stepping forward boldly. "Children with dreams don't stay within the boundaries of realistic. They create change." The audience shifted, some faces softening as their eyes turned back to Maya, who felt a spark of hope ignite again. Perhaps it was more than just her story, it was about many voices coming together. "Look," she said, feeling the fierce fire building in her chest. "Every dream starts small, just like every great story. If we stand together, if we believe together, we can do this." For a moment, a flicker of inspiration ignited among the crowd. The murmurs grew louder, a swelling tide of support that filled the room. But then Director Wallace raised a finger, stopping the enthusiasm cold. "Okay, what happens next?" Maya's pulse raced. She could see it, feel it just within reach. But would they take the leap of faith with her? As she stood there, uncertainty gripping her, one word echoed in her mind: why? Why do so many hesitate when youth whirl with possibility? As eyes fell expectantly upon her, the question lingered in the air, the weight of it settling heavy. Would Maya find the voice to answer why? Or would the shadows of doubt cloud her ambitions once more? Maya's heart raced as she met the gaze of each community member, their faces a spectrum of hope and fear mirroring her own. She couldn't let this moment slip away. It was now or never. "Why?" she repeated, her voice stronger this time, reverberating through the silence that had fallen once again. "Why should we limit ourselves? Why not challenge the naysayers? Why not strive for a world where our dreams aren't just words in the air, but tangible realities?" The crowd absorbed her words, an electric energy coursing through the room, as if her passion was contagious. For a brief moment, Maya felt untouchable, like she was floating above the uncertainty, cradled by the support of friends and family who believed. "And what if there's more financial support out there than we realize?" she continued, her mind racing ahead. "What if we can find sponsors, local businesses willing to invest in our community's future? We don't just need to think of this as a project. It could be a movement, a shift that changes how we see ourselves and how the world sees us." A few heads nodded in the crowd. Josie was beaming, eyes wide with enthusiasm. Malik clapped his hands, urging the energy to spill over. But Director Wallace still looked skeptical. "This isn't just about dreaming, Maya. You have to present a viable plan, and right now you haven't given us enough to go on." His tone remained firm, but Maya saw a flicker in his eyes, an opening. Maya took a deep breath. "I'll work on the plan. I'm not asking for everything right now. I'm asking for a chance to start. To organize workshops where we'll connect with potential sponsors. We can present what the community has to offer. We'll show them the passion here, the talent, the love. Just give us a shot." As she spoke, She noticed Julian stepping beside her again, his presence like an anchor. He whispered, "You've got this." The warmth of his support soothed her jagged nerves. "Maybe what we need is a collaborative meeting, involving community stakeholders and local businesses," said another official in the back, a woman with bright eyes and a notebook cradled in her hands. "You can start shaping your vision into something concrete." Maya's heart soared. Yes. If I can show them how this hub can bring real solutions to real lives, she turned to the crowd. "All I need is a little faith from you all to make those connections happen." Cheers erupted again, emboldened by the idea that they could work together, united in purpose. The murmurs began to transform into shouts of encouragement, voices rising with belief. Maya almost trembled with the power of it. "See?" Malik shouted, a broad grin stretching across his face. "We've got the community backing us." Glancing at the officials, she saw something shifting in their demeanor, the hard lines softening just a little. "So, is that what happens next?" Maya asked, feeling buoyed by the tidal wave of encouragement. Director Wallace leaned back, considering her words. "If you can organize a presentation that illustrates your vision clearly, then we can discuss potential funding options. You'll need a solid proposal." A wave of relief washed over Maya. It wasn't a no, it was a ray of possibility. "I'll do it," she promised, voice clear and unwavering. "We'll work together to make this happen." As the crowd erupted again, Maya felt a rush of possibilities filling her heart. She could almost see them, families laughing together in the hub, kids playing, and dreams fluttering to life. But just as her dreams soared, a nagging worry tugged at her. Would they be ready to pool their resources and ideas? Would they trust her enough to step into the fray? The question lingered in her heart as the meeting continued, leaving her with one burning thought. Was she truly capable of uniting her community around this vision? In that moment, as determination set in, Maya knew they had taken the first steps. Yet the road ahead was still fraught with uncertainty. What challenges lay ahead, waiting to test their resolve? Maya left the community center that night feeling lighter, as if her dreams had taken wing in the wake of her words. The air outside was cool, the stars twinkling like promises in the dark. Yet beneath her exhilaration, doubt crept in. Could she really lead this initiative? Could they all come together to make her vision a reality? "Hey," Julian called, breaking her reverie. He jogged to catch up with her, a version of the joy she felt mirrored in his cherubic smile. "You were incredible in there. I thought they'd explode with excitement." "Thanks," Maya replied, a shy smile breaking through her uncertainty. "But it's just the beginning. Now comes the hard part." They walked side by side, the quiet of the night wrapping around them. The streetlights cast soft halos, illuminating the path ahead. "You have an army behind you, Maya. I believe in you, and so does everyone else," he reassured her, his voice steady, wrapping around her like a warm blanket. "Do you really think so?" she asked, needing to hear it again, to believe the truth in his words. "Absolutely. Look, I mean it. Those are good ideas. But you'll need help with that proposal. We should get others involved, people who have skills in planning or fundraising," Julian suggested, his enthusiasm bubbling over. Maya nodded, her mind already racing with possibilities. "That would help. But will everyone trust me enough to lead? I've never led anything like this before." "Everyone's rooting for you. Use that energy," he said. "It starts with just showing them what you have in mind. Once they see it taking form, that's when they'll really get on board." A flicker of hope ignited in her heart. "You're right. If I can outline a tangible plan, they might see we can really do this." They reached the park where the trees provided a canopy of leaves, rustling gently in the night breeze. A few community members lingered on benches, their voices low and filled with warmth, still reflecting the energy from the meeting's aftermath. Julian stopped beneath a tree, looking deep into her eyes. "And here's the real deal. When you feel overwhelmed, just remember why you're doing this. You believe in the community. You want to create something beautiful for everyone. That's your strength." Tension eased out of Maya's shoulders. "I just hope they believe in me. Then, your next step is to give them reasons to," he said confidently. "Let us reach out to some local businesses. Maybe knock on a few doors. Share your vision, get ideas flowing. Take it one step at a time." Together, they sat on a nearby bench, sketching ideas in the dirt with a stick. Each line felt like a bridge between dream and reality, a symbol of what lay ahead. Maya could almost see the spaces filled. Local kids learning, families thriving, the community united and vibrant. Tomorrow, she declared, conviction setting her chin high. Tomorrow, I'll start making my list. People to talk to, workshops to plan. I'll put this on paper. I'll make it real. With a smile of promise, they left the park hand in hand, the night feeling lighter, every step filling with purpose. But as dawn approached and the stars began to fade, a thought lingered. What if the naysayers got to them first? What if a business refused to cooperate? Or worse, what if someone questioned her leadership? Maya's heart fluttered again with uncertainty. More than a challenge, this felt like a test of her very essence. Could she really pull this off? Julian? She asked quietly as they walked on. What if someone in our community doesn't support this? What if they try to tear us down? Then we stand taller, he replied fiercely. For every doubt they throw, we show them 5 reasons why we're strong. Together. The road ahead glittered with promise, but looming shadows beckoned. Would her unyielding spirit be enough to navigate the turbulence that awaited her? The next morning, the sun broke through the horizon, spilling golden light across Maya's neighborhood. The warmth crept into her home as she gathered supplies for her mission. Lists, notepads, and colorful markers were strewn across the kitchen table. Each item felt like a weapon against doubt, each colorful stroke representing her aspirations. She took a deep breath, her heart racing as she approached the first house on her list. Mrs. Thompson, the retired schoolteacher who knew everyone and had a wealth of connections, would be her first stop. Confidence bubbled within her, fueled by the conversation she had shared with Julian. I can do this, she whispered to herself, summoning courage. As she knocked on the door, a wave of anxiety washed over her. What if Mrs. Thompson didn't believe in her idea? What if she dismissed her outright? But the door creaked open, revealing a warm smile that spread across the teacher's face. Maya! What a surprise! Come in, dear. Inside, the smell of fresh coffee filled the air. Maya settled into a cozy chair, and Mrs. Thompson poured herself a cup. So, what brings you here? She inquired, her eyes sparkling with intrigue. Taking a deep breath, Maya shared her vision. She spoke passionately about creating opportunities for local kids, launching workshops, and enhancing community engagement. Each word seemed to lift the weight off her chest, allowing her excitement to flow freely. Well, that sounds wonderful, Mrs. Thompson exclaimed, her eyes widening with enthusiasm. But how do you plan to fund it all? Maya hesitated for a split second, but quickly covered the doubt with her newfound determination. That's where I need your help. I'm going to reach out to local businesses, and I know you have contacts from your years of teaching. Mrs. Thompson nodded, her expression thoughtful. I'd love to help. Let us make a list of potential sponsors. If you're organized and passionate, we can show them the benefits of investing in our community. With renewed vigor, they brainstormed ideas, jotting down names and connections. An hour slipped by almost unnoticed, and when it finally came time to leave, Maya felt a high she hadn't anticipated. Thank you, Mrs. Thompson. I can't believe how much we came up with. Just remember, dear, you're not alone in this. We're all rooting for you, she replied, giving Maya a warm hug. Brimming with exhilaration, Maya raced to the next house. Each door she knocked on revealed support she hadn't anticipated. From the baker who promised to provide snacks for their workshops to a local artist excited to share their skills. Every interaction deepened her resolve. But just as everything seemed to flow perfectly, her phone buzzed with a message from Julian. Hey, something came up. Can we meet later? Her heart sank. What could be more important than this? She quickly brushed it off, reminding herself that this day was hers to seize. However, a twinge of unease settled in the pit of her stomach. That evening, while sifting through notes and ideas in her room, her phone buzzed again. This time it was a group chat with the community members who had attended the meeting. Maya, I heard from a source that a local business owner is against your initiative. They're rallying support against it. The message dropped like a stone into her heart. Naysayers already. Doubt seeped back in, and her mind raced with concern. What if their words overshadowed the support she had worked so hard to gather? Maya, stand tall. Julian's voice echoed in her mind. She thought about Mrs. Thompson and all the others who had offered their encouragement. But uncertainty lingered. Would the negativity outweigh the support? The fight felt heavier now, a weight pressing on her shoulders. As she sat there, the glow of her aspirations dimming, she felt the urge to text Julian back. What's going on? But deep inside, she knew she needed to be the leader they believed she could be. With her heart beating rapidly, she took a deep breath. This was just the beginning, and she couldn't let fear define her. There was so much yet to unfold. What was her next move? Would she take a stand against the opposition, or would fear push her to retreat? The weight of the journey ahead loomed large. Maya lay awake, staring at the ceiling, her mind racing. The fear clawed at her thoughts, but so did hope. The entire community dwelled on a precipice with her, hanging on the edge of change. She thought of the children, their laughter, their ambitions, and how she wanted to help them reach for the stars. The next day, she decided to confront the looming negativity head-on. She gathered her notes, her pitch, and a fire in her heart. If she was going to face this opposition, she wouldn't do it from a place of fear. Instead, she would harness the hope she had inspired in others. Over breakfast, her mother noticed her unusually serious demeanor. "What's on your mind, honey?" she asked, pouring Maya some juice. "I'm facing some pushback about the community program. Some businesses are against it," Maya explained, fighting back the urge to let doubt seep in. She hated to worry her mom, but she needed support. Her mother looked straight into her eyes, unwavering. "Remember what we talked about. You have to believe in what you're doing. You can't let others dim your light. You're on the right path, baby." The words warmed Maya's heart. She grabbed her phone and sent a message to the group chat. "Let us organize a community meeting. I want to address any concerns and share our vision." The responses flooded in, a mix of support and encouragement. Friends and allies rallied behind her, confirming they'd be there. This was more than just her fight now. It was theirs too. Later that evening, as she prepared for the meeting, Maya felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. The local community center was buzzing as members filled the room. With each face, she felt a surge of determination. She hadn't anticipated this many people showing up today. As she stood in front of the audience, her heart thumped wildly. The lights dimmed, and she took a deep breath, centering herself. "Thank you all for being here tonight. I know some of you may have questions or concerns about our program." She paused, looking out at the faces eager to hear her thoughts. Maya shared her vision, weaving stories of children in need of inspiration, dreams waiting to be realized. "Our community can do more if we stand together," she said, her voice gaining strength. "This isn't just about funding, it's about our kids and their futures." She could see nods of agreement, see hope twinkling in their eyes. But then the voice of opposition rang out, cutting through her enthusiasm. Charlie, a local business owner she knew, stood up. "I respect your passion, Maya, but I'm worried about the costs and the effect on our local business. What assurance do we have that this will work?" Maya felt the unease settle again, but she prepared for this. "That's a fair question, Charlie. I want to work with you to prove this can benefit everyone. Investing in our children means investing in a better community. When we support them, we nurture potential customers and leaders." The room buzzed with whispers. Maya could sense a shift. People were weighing the change against their fears. After the meeting, several supporters approached her, including Charlie. "You've got a good point there, Maya. I hadn't thought of it that way," he admitted, sincerity in his tone. Maya felt a rush of relief. It was the beginning of a dialogue, a chance to build bridges rather than walls. But as she walked home, the victory danced lightly on her shoulders. The message from Julian popped into her mind again. What was he going to say? Questions nagged at her, replacing her earlier worries. Tomorrow was another day. A pivotal one. Would Julian's news bring clarity? Or would it create another challenge for her to navigate? With that thought lingering, Maya turned the corner, the lights of her neighborhood illuminating the path ahead. Each step felt heavy with anticipation for the uncertain journey they were all on. What was she about to discover? Maya woke up the next morning with butterflies in her stomach. Last night's meeting had ignited a spark in her, but the thought of Julian's message waited like a shadow over that light. She rolled out of bed, splashed water on her face, and reached for her phone, her heart racing with each notification she checked. But nothing from Julian yet. After a quick breakfast, she grabbed her notes again, determined to refine her presentation. Her mind drifted back to the children. She pictured their faces and the excitement she wanted to inspire in them. If she could just convince the community to see what she saw our collective responsibility, to nurture the dreams of the next generation, everything would change. She spent the morning drafting an outline for a follow-up meeting, one that would focus on tangible benefits for local businesses, community well-being, and of course the kids. Each time she wrote a line, she felt the quiet strength of her vision coalescing. Still, Julian's absence gnawed at her. As noon approached, Maya received a message that made her heart leap. "Let us meet. There's something important I learned." It was brief but loaded with urgency. She texted back, confirming a spot at the park they both loved. She craved clarity, but she felt the weight of uncertainty. Arriving at the park felt surreal. This was a place of comfort, filled with memories of laughter and teamwork. The sun was out, streaming down warmly, but the atmosphere felt heavy. She spotted Julian sitting on their usual bench, tapping his foot nervously. "Maya." He stood up, and she could see the seriousness on his face. "Hey, what's going on?" she asked, trying to sound casual but unable to hide her anxiety. Julian took a deep breath. "So, I did some digging. You know those businesses that are opposing your program? They're not just worried about costs." Her breath caught in her throat. "What do you mean?" "They're scared, Maya. Scared of change. Some of them are rooted in tradition and unsure of the future. But it's more than that." He hesitated, processing what to say next. "Some do have their own interests at heart. One of the key players is connected to a larger corporate chain that might feel threatened by your idea." Anger and hurt flared inside her. "So it's not just about the community then? It's about their bottom line?" Julian nodded, his expression softening. "But don't let that deter you. You're onto something big and real. The resistance is strong, but so is your support. We can counter their points. You need to show them this will benefit everyone, not just the kids." Maya took a deep breath, determination washing over her like a wave. "You're right. We can use their fear. If they think they'll lose out, then we can frame this as an opportunity for them." Julian smiled, the tension easing between them. "Exactly. You know how to resonate with people. You just have to keep rallying that community spirit." But it wasn't just fear of the businesses now. What about the truth that lay buried in Julian's revelations? Did that shake her confidence? She needed to take every piece of information and weave it together into something meaningful. "What do we do next?" she asked, urgency in her tone. Julian leaned closer, lowered his voice, and said, "I believe you need to approach them directly. Set up a meeting that includes their concerns and your vision. Get everyone in the same room." Maya's heart raced at the prospect. For the first time, she could see a world where understanding could pave the way for unity. But deep inside, doubt whispered too. What if they rejected her again? What if they were too entrenched in their fears to listen? As they sat in the park, the sun fading in the sky, Maya realized she was at a crossroads. She could crumble under the weight of uncertainty, or leap forward into the challenge. Determined, she squared her shoulders. "I will approach them," she said, her voice firm. "But will I have your support?" "Always," he replied, a tinge of pride in his gaze. As they spoke, the shadows around them felt deeper, more meaningful. They were stepping into a battle together, a fight for hope. And as the light dimmed, Maya knew that tomorrow would be the turning point. But with each turn of her thoughts, another question arose: what if the price of change was more than she was prepared to pay? The next morning, Maya woke up with a sense of purpose that had replaced the previous day's uncertainty. She had spent hours tossing and turning, but now, as the sun broke through her curtains, she was ready. Her heart felt a little lighter. She believed she could confront the business leaders, even with all their complexities. As she prepared for the day, she reminded herself that it wasn't just about her anymore. It was for the children, for the community, and perhaps even for Julian. The park was buzzing with energy when she arrived, a stark contrast to the quiet dread that had enveloped her yesterday. People were out enjoying the sunshine, and children were laughing as they played. Each joyful sound revived her spirit, igniting the flame of her mission. Today she would not back down. Maya spotted Julian waiting for her, fidgeting with his phone. His presence steadied her. "You ready for this?" he asked, concern mixed with encouragement in his voice. "More than ever," she replied, confidence blooming within her. "I've gone over the notes. I know what needs to be said." As they walked together toward the community center, she outlined her strategy. "I'll start with the kids' stories, how they'll benefit from this project. Then I'll address their fears about the competition. We'll show them this isn't just a personal gain. It's a chance to uplift the whole community." Julian nodded, his eyes brightening. "Exactly. Let them see how connected we all are. If they realize they're part of something bigger, they might just come around." When they reached the building, the familiar faces of the town's business leaders were gathered in the community room, chatting amongst themselves. The atmosphere felt thick with anticipation. Taking a deep breath, Maya glanced at Julian, who gave her an encouraging nod. "Let us do this," she whispered, and with renewed determination, she stepped inside. "Thank you all for meeting with us," Maya began, her voice steady despite the nervous flutter in her stomach. "I wanted to share my vision on how our new program can benefit not just the children but the entire community, including you as business leaders." As she spoke, she could see the initial skepticism shifting to cautious interest. She wove the stories of children, the dreamers and innovators she wished to nurture, into her presentation. A few leaders shifted in their chairs, leaning in as she described the potential advantages for local businesses: greater foot traffic, community goodwill, and partnership opportunities. Yet she also knew she had to confront their fears head-on. "I understand change is daunting. You've built your businesses on the foundation of tradition. But imagine what we can create together if we embrace new ideas." There was a murmur among them, and Maya felt the ground shifting, inch by inch. But just as she was gaining momentum, one man, the local cafe owner, raised a hand. "But what about our interests? How do we know we won't be sidelined in this process?" Taking a moment to compose herself, Maya met his gaze. "I want to work with you. If I am to succeed, we need local businesses like yours to thrive. This is about collaboration, not competition. Let us make this mutual." The room buzzed with conversation, and for the first time, she felt the weight of possibilities almost tangible in the air. But just as hope wrapped around her like a warm blanket, a familiar voice overshadowed the moment. Not far from the group stood an influential figure. She had hoped to avoid a representative from the corporate chain that might feel threatened by her initiative. His presence was a stark reminder of the larger battle looming ahead. "I think it's time we laid down the facts," he said, a smirk on his face. "This is about survival. Do you honestly think your little program can compete with a brand like ours?" Maya's heart raced again, this time not from excitement but fear. She had prepared for many scenarios, but this was the gauntlet that would test everything she believed in. Her hands trembled slightly, but she could sense Julian at her side, grounding her. The room fell silent, all eyes now on her. In an instant, that flicker of doubt surfaced again. Could she really rally the community against such a powerful entity? With her pulse pounding in her ears, Maya chose to meet his gaze head-on. "It's time for a change. This isn't just about one corporation versus another. It's about creating something lasting for our community. And I'm ready to fight for it." The tension in the room shifted. Maybe, just maybe, she had sparked a flicker of unity. But was it enough to truly stand against the corporate machine? As she wrapped up her thoughts, the next question loomed large in her mind. What would be required to not just stand, but to flourish? The stakes felt higher than ever, but she was ready for whatever came next. All she hoped was for her passion to resonate and create real change. What impact would the big corporation have on her mission and on the community she cared so deeply about? Maya felt the weight of every gaze in the room, an expectant silence hanging thick like fog. The corporate representative had thrown down the gauntlet, and she could feel her heart pounding, the adrenaline surging through her veins. Uncertainty tugged at the edges of her resolve, but deep inside, a spark ignited. "Let us put it to the test, shall we?" she challenged, her voice steadying with determination. "This community is rich with love and possibility. Who here can deny that our children deserve a chance to thrive?" To dive into their creativity instead of just surviving? A few heads nodded, and she caught Julian's eye, his encouraging smile bringing her a breath of relief. Your businesses are the lifeblood of this town. Imagine what could happen if they flourished alongside our children. It's not just about money, it's about legacy. The corporate man's expression soured like a spoiled lemon, but that only fueled her fire. We can offer mentorship for the youth. What if they brought fresh ideas into your shops? What if they became the next leaders in innovation? Maya paused for effect, searching the crowd's faces. A woman from the back, a local boutique owner, raised her hand. What you're suggesting is scary. But it might also be exciting. It could help us all. Maya seized the moment, threading her voice with warmth and sincerity. Scary isn't bad, you know. Many great things come from stepping out of our comfort zones. I believe that mobilizing our community is the first step we have to take to protect and nurture our future. More murmurs erupted, and to her surprise, people began sharing their own vulnerabilities and aspirations. They talked about the struggles they faced against larger corporations, the fears for their children's future, and the hope they held for their businesses. Julian interjected, "We've seen it happen before. Small businesses banding together to create something genuine that even the biggest chains can't replicate. It's about heart, and heart is what builds community." Maya's heart swelled as she listened to the growing chorus of support. But then the representative leaned back, an air of condescension hanging around him like a coat. "You really believe an initiative like this can stand toe-to-toe with national chains? It's naive." The word stung, pulling at her confidence, but Maya pushed through. "Maybe it's naive," she admitted, swallowing hard. "But it's also honest. It's from the heart. And it's fueled by love and dedication. Love is more powerful than a dollar. Believe me, you'll see the change, even if it takes time." The room held its breath again, the air thick with contemplation. Could they really challenge the status quo together? Could they actually believe in something more? Then a glimmer, a shift. The cafe owner, who had first voiced concerns, stood up. "I'm in. I'm tired of watching our children leave for bigger cities, losing them to the corporations that don't care about this community. Let's invest in our future together." A ripple of agreement spread across the room, and Maya could hardly breathe with hope. Could it be happening? But just as doubt receded, the corporate representative scoffed, crossing his arms. "This is naive dream building. You'll see, without cold hard cash, this is a fantasy." The tension snapped, and Maya felt every eye between her and that man flicker with doubt. The questions loomed large. Did they dare stand together? And if they did, what would the costs be? And what if they failed? The stakes were escalating, and Maya realized she needed to rally them more than ever. She stood tall, heart racing, ready to steer this ship toward the future she envisioned. But could she truly inspire them to believe without question? The moment of truth would come, but would they all stand firm? Or would the corporate world tear through their dreams before they even began to take flight? Maya stood at the heart of the community center, the crowd buzzing with tension, hope, and uncertainty. The local officials and business owners buzzed like a hive, voices mingling with each challenge. But today felt different. Today was a reckoning. "Like I said," she began, steadier this time, "it's not just about my dream. This is our dream. And together, we can make it a reality." Her heart hammered in her chest as a chorus of nods mixed with murmurs of agreement broke out. She leaned into that energy, the connection palpable, like static in the air. "I know change is scary," she continued, each word infused with sincerity. "But what if we've been too scared to see the possibilities? Every day we push our kids toward a future filled with unimaginable challenges. Why shouldn't we equip them to face those challenges with creativity, support, and unity?" The corporate representative leaned back, arms crossed, a disinterested look painted across his face. But Maya pressed on undeterred. "Our children are more than just future customers. They're our future leaders. If they succeed, we all succeed. Picture this: kids empowered with mentorship, ideas flowing into our businesses, customers who are invested in our community instead of shipping their dollars elsewhere. Can't we all see where this could lead?" Then she spotted Mrs. Thompson nodding emphatically, a lit candle amidst a looming storm. "It's about nurturing homegrown talent, potential that's already here. We won't just be surviving. We'll be thriving. Cheers erupted from the crowd, people leaning forward, hearts reinvigorated. You might not believe it, but I only ask for a chance, Maya implored, her voice catching. Let us organize workshops together. Let us tie our visions, our dreams, into something actionable, something life-changing. Allow us to showcase what our community can accomplish when it stands together. Suddenly, the cafe owner, Charlie, stood up, his expression shifting from skepticism to determination. Maya's right. Let us partner. What's to lose? His voice erupted above the crowd, stirring hope like the dawn. I'm willing to invest in a program that gives back. We could all create a framework together. It just makes sense. Pandemonium broke out, everyone exchanging affirmations and enthusiastic shouts. The corporate rep shifted, unease creeping into his demeanor. Maya's heart swelled, but a part of her remained cautious. Was this unity real? Or was it fleeting like morning dew? A moment later, Julian stepped forward, confidence radiating from his every word. Let us schedule another community meeting. Let us set an agenda of what we can offer each other as business owners and leaders. But we need someone to spearhead this. His eyes turned to Maya, igniting the indomitable spirit that lay within her. Every second felt monumental. I'll take the lead, she declared, resolute. We need to show them that we can rise together, all of us, standing strong against the tide. Wild cheers erupted, flooding the air with adrenaline. A unity woven together, a newfound belief washing away fears, if only for a moment. Expect to hear from us soon, she called out as the applause grew. Somehow they had bridged that gap, dared to challenge the looming shadows, transforming fear into trust, doubt into community. Later that evening, Maya and Julian walked side by side. Hearts lightened as they shared laughter. I can't believe it worked. She laughed, a radiant smile lighting her face. Of course it did. You have a gift for rallying people when the stakes are high, Julian smiled. But Maya paused, reflective. Did I really? Or did they see something in me that I didn't yet see in myself? An array of emotions cascaded through her: fear, hope, and gratitude. Does it matter? What's important is that they trust you now, Julian replied. You led them toward a flicker of possibility. And who knows? That flicker may just ignite a roaring flame. Maya looked at the community center, silhouetted against the starry sky, the path ahead shimmering with potential. This is just the beginning, Julian. There's so much more to do. Chills danced down her spine, not from fear, but hope, as the world outside began to bloom with promises waiting to be fulfilled. The journey ahead might not be easy, but they were now in it together, side by side, heart first, ready to change the world. And as the night settled, the stars winked kindly down upon them, a constellation witnessing every ambition waiting to unfold. This is where the real adventure began. With the community united and a shared dream to chase, Maya felt the weight of the world shift from her shoulders, lift, and spread wings. Now more than ever, she believed. And with belief came power. If you can feel the heartbeat of this change, if you believe in the strength of a community coming together, then you need to act now. Subscribe immediately to our channel to keep the momentum going and not miss the next exclusive stories that inspire and uplift. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Your support truly makes a difference. Comment below your reactions and feelings about this powerful ending. We want to hear your voice in this journey. And share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this remarkable transformation. Don't wait not even one more second to share the light and love within our community. Only true fans understand the importance of supporting the movement by engaging with us today.